Hello everyone, thank you for joining Applications Manager first training series of this year. Let's get into the first topic of this training series, application-centric infrastructure monitoring. On this first topic, we'll be discussing on four different subtopics in the agenda. So the first topic will be auto discover components and dependency. And the second topic is measure key performance across your application and database servers. Third topic will be how AI and ML based reporting will help us to analyze the performance trend. And the last topic will be what are all the built-in integrations that are available in Applications Manager. Let's quickly discuss on the first topic on the today's agenda, auto discover and dependency. Before we just look into the functionality of auto discover and dependency, let's discuss a small story here. ABC is a financial global provider and they have only 3 admins in their organization, whereas they have more than 2000 plus database server across their infrastructure. So what are all the challenges they are facing when they have huge infrastructure of servers? First thing, lack of visibility. They don't know where exactly the database server is hosted and they are having issue to pinpoint the exact root cause and they are also having the trouble to identify the slow running queries in their databases. Let's check how Applications Manager will help them to overcome these scenarios. Auto discovery in Applications Manager. With a single click of network discovery, Applications Manager will discover all the servers which are running on your infrastructure. Along with it, it will discover all the application and the services or the databases which is hosted under that. With a single click of this discovery, it will fetch all these monitors. So monitors in the sense it could be a database, applications or services. So once these are discovered, it will also create a dependency map view. With this dependency map view, you can understand what is the relationship between two servers. If your application is running on server A and it is using the database in server B, so for these two servers, it will create a relationship map. Along with it, you can also view the live status of those application and the hosted servers as well. So when this particular dependency view is created, it will helps you to analyze the issue faster. So rather checking the database host is down or a database server is down, in this view, you can easily check and find the exact root cause of those issues. Let me take you to the Applications Manager UI and show how the discovery works here. In Applications Manager UI, under Settings tab, under Discovery and Data Collection, click on Add or Discover. So once you just clicked on Add or Discover, you'll be getting 3 options here: Add, Bulk Import, and Discovery. You might know Applications Manager is capable of supporting more than 150 plus different monitor types, and we have just categorized the respective monitors based on the monitor type here. If you want to view like what are all the database servers that are currently supported in Applications Manager, you can click on the database servers tab and you can view all the top vendor database servers that are being supported. So in case if you want to add a single monitor, single database server for your monitoring, you can just use this add option here. And in the discovery part, when you just click on the discovery, just click on add new. Okay. So once you just given the add new, it will show you the discovery details page. Here you need to give all the necessary details which will be needed for the discovery. So first you need to just give a name for your discovery. Once you just given the name, we need to add the credential. So with this particular credential only, Applications Manager will discover the application or the databases which is running on a particular server. For discovering the server as well, you need to give the credential. So you need to click on add credential here. So once you just click on add credential, under the credential type, you need to select the respective type. If you want to discover the DB2 monitor which is running on your AX server, you click on the DB2 and give a credential name here. So once you just given the credential name, give the username and the password by which we are going to monitor that DB2 server. So once you just given the username and password, just click a save so that this particular credential details will be added into the credential list. So once you just given the credential list, the second step is we need to just give the IP range. So when you just give this IP range from and to IP range only, it will going to discover all the hosts which are present within this IP range. Along with the host discovery, it will also discover the application and the databases which are running inside that. After giving the IP range in configured port, so in the configured port, by default, in Applications Manager, we are just given the default port of the respective monitor types. So in case if your server, Unix-based server is running in a different port, so you can just give those ports by comma separated. So this is the customized port in which your application or the database or the server is running. So once you just given these details, you can either click on discover or discover and add. So when you just click on this discover, it will discover all the host and the applications which is running on it, and you can just select the respective host and the databases which you want to monitor. So this is how the functional of discover will work. In case if you want to discover and add all the monitors which are discovered through this discovery, so during that time you can just add on click on discover and add. So once you just click on discover and add, it will show you the list of servers that are got discovered. So here, these are all the servers that are discovered. In case if you want to view like what are all the service or the applications which are discovered from this host. So you can just see the respective details here. And here you can click on view dependency map. So once you just clicked on view dependency map, you need to select the respective icons so that it will create a dependency map view here. So this is how the discovery map will looks like. So these are all the host and these are all the respective application server or the database server which is running inside this particular host. And if there is any relationship, it will also create the relationship map view. And you can see the live status of that particular database or the application server that are discovered in this discovery. So in case if a particular application server is down, so the same status will be reflected here. So with the help of this, you can easily identify the exact issue that is happening on your application or the services. And it will create a relationship map view as well so that you can find how the server A is related to server B. So this is how the discovery will work in Applications Manager. And the next option here is bulk import. So if you have a set of servers in a CSV file or the Excel sheet, and you want to upload that directly to the monitoring, so to just discover that monitoring. So Applications Manager giving that functionality as well to upload the CSV file and add all the monitors for the monitoring. So here you need to select the respective monitor type. So I want to discover, I have a list of servers with me in a CSV file, and I want to discover those servers with the help of bulk import. So once I clicked on servers, you can able to in the help card will show the like what are all the fields that we need to give in the CSV file, and we have also given a sample template for the CSV file. So in the template you can find like what are all the fields that needs to be given for the bulk import. So you need to just give the host name, port, the timeout value, and the operating system, whether it's a Windows or Linux. So if it is Windows, you need to just give along with its version, and you need to choose the mode of monitoring. So in the for the Windows, we are supporting WMI mode and the SNMP mode for the Windows servers. And for the Unix-based servers, we are supporting Telnet SSH. And for the SSH, we are supporting both user-based authentication and the key-based authentication. And you need to just give the username and password here, just in case if you are not allowed to use the credential in an Excel sheet due to security reasons. So during these scenarios, you can just copy the credential ID. So credential ID is nothing but the one which we created during the discovery. So we can just copy that credential ID, paste it here instead of giving username and password. So once you just given all these details in the sheet, just save this particular sheet, and we need to import that for the discovery. So you need to click on in the file to upload, click the respective CSV file, the server for which we have created, right? So you need to just select that particular file and click on next. So once you clicked on next, it will list all the details which you have given on the CSV file. So what is the display name, host name, in case if you are just given the wrong host name or the wrong port. So you can just verify the details here once and you can start the discovery. So once you clicked on start discovery, it will automatically or add all these monitors to the applications manager for the monitoring. So this is how this bulk import will work. So these are the three modes in which you can add the monitors or import the monitors into the applications manager. And during the discovery, you might see like how the dependency map view is created. In case if you want to create your own dependency view, yes, applications manager giving that functionality to you as well by performing few steps. So here you need to just create a monitor group. So once you just created a monitor group, add the respective servers or the host to this particular monitor group. In case if you want to create the application, like in for the application server, what are all the web server or the database server needed for that. So you can just group that and you can view the business view here. So in this business view, it will list all the monitors and the subgroup status as well. So that with the help of this view, you can identify if a particular application is not working. So you can just check whether the database server is down or the web server is down. So you can view those details in this particular map view. So you can just create your own map here, and we are also given the settings. You can just change the icons, or if you want to just customize that, we are also just given those options here for the monitor groups. So these are all the ways you can add the monitor and create a dependency map view. Let's get into the second topic of this today's series. The next topic here is measure key performance metrics across your application servers and the databases. As you might seen, like in the application servers, we have just covered all the top vendor based application servers. And when it comes to the application servers, here are the few key performance metrics that you need to focus on. So when you just talk about the key performance metrics, the first one for the application server here is like the JVM heap usage. You want to check and identify the current Java usage or the used by your application. And if there is any issue or if there is high usage of Java by your application, you can create an alert. So first one is JVM heap usage, and also you can view the server response time. If a particular your application is taking time to get loaded. So during these scenarios, you can just with the help of the server response time and the connection details, you can easily identify that what is the current value, and with the help of that, you can identify and fix that issue before it goes to the next stage. And also along with it, you can also monitor the threads that are initiated by your application. So you can set a baseline for that. If a particular thread utilization is go beyond the threshold value which you have configured and you want to get an alert either for critical or warning, so that is also feasible. So once these metrics are captured and you want to monitor, it will helps you to reduce the bottlenecks at the end time. When it comes to the database server, like the key performance the key parameters that you need to be focused on here is like the first one is query performance. Yes, nowadays database admins are in struggle to identify the queries which is causing slowness to the database or which is hampering the CPU. So to identify these query performance, applications manager will list all the queries which are hampering the particular databases. So first one, you need to monitor the query performance. Along with it, we can also monitor the backups and job. You can identify like when the last backup has been executed, the particular job backup status is getting failed, you can get an alert for that, and you can just create or start or stop a particular job directly from the applications manager. I'll just show these features in the UI after this, and along with it, you can monitor the session details. So like what are all the users currently active on the particular database. In case if you want to kill those sessions, that is also feasible. And along with it, you can check the log statistics and the buffer pool usage of the particular database server. So these are all the few key performance we need to focus on. So along with it, what constitutes an issue? When we just talk about the application, yes, application slowness or the exception will create an issue for the application. When it comes to the operating system, due to poor provisioning of server or the virtual resource, it will hamper the operating system. And in network and hardware, due to high network utilization or due to the high error rates or due to the hardware problems like fan or processors, these will hamper the issues. So these four metrics should be, or these four parameters should be monitored in the applications manager. Yes, these are also capable in the applications manager. Let me quickly take you to the applications manager UI and show these functionalities. So let's try to add a WebLogic server. So when you just want to add a single monitor, as I mentioned, you can just use the add option. So once you just clicked on add under the application servers, you can click on the WebLogic server. In the WebLogic server, like before you just adding any of the monitor types for the monitoring, you can find the help card at the right hand section. So in this help card, you can find the prerequisites that need to get followed. So before adding the monitor, verify if you are just given the enough privilege for the users and the required ports are open for the communication. And in case if you want to deploy any jar or any files for fetching the data during the data collection, so these prerequisites are first needs to be completed. Once these prerequisites are in place, you can just try adding the monitor. So you need to just give the display name and IP address, and along with it in the WebLogic server, you can select the WebLogic version, and you can discover the clusters and manage servers which is running on it. So rather than adding the WebLogic server or the clusters one by one, so you can just directly discover all the clusters and the managed servers which are hosted under it. Let me just show you the WebLogic server in Applications Manager. So once all the monitors are added, and then the monitors tab, you can find the list of monitors that are added in your current App Manager instance. So once you just clicked on the WebLogic server, so here you can view the JVM heap usage. So here with the help of this configure alarm icon, you can just create a threshold profile and monitor it. So this is the current heap usage of my particular application server, and you can monitor the response time as well. And along with it, you can also capture the list of thread pool details here. And you can view like what is the thread pool usage for last 1 hour. So these values will be automatically fetched during the data collection and shown in this page. And based on the total threads or threads in use for these metrics, you can just configure the alarms directly from here. So these are all the few parameters that needs to be focused when it comes to an application server. And when it comes to the database server, let me take an example of SQL Server here. So in SQL Server, under the overview, on the overview page, you can view the buffer hit ratio and the cache hit ratio as well, and you can view the memory usage as well. And in the performance tab, you will find the query performance. So as we discussed in the session, like you can view the top slow running queries. When you just click on top slow running queries, it will list out the exact query. So rather than giving a hint, Applications Manager give the complete query, which is slow running on your database, and along with the execution time, average, maximum, and the minimum this particular query has taken, and number of execution as well. So you can just share this query with your database team so that your database admin will optimize this particular query so that it will not hamper the performance of the database. So apart from that, you can also create a report for these particular queries. So you can just generate the report here, either in PDF or the Excel sheet, and based on the respective type. So if you want to see like what are the queries that are frequently running on the database, or what are the queries which is blocking the database. So you can just click and generate these reports here. And you can also filter these queries by the database name or by the execution time. And in the database tab, you can view all the databases that are hosted on your database server. And for each and every database, data file size and the log size will get monitored. So if the log size used is grow, like the percentage of log file is huge. So for that as well, you can create an alert. And in session tab, you can view the active sessions on your particular database here. And here, for the default admin user, Applications Manager give a privilege to kill the session directly from here. So rather logging into the SQL Manager Studio and kill the particular session, you can directly perform it here. And also in the jobs tab, you can view what are all the current jobs, which is along with the current status. So you can just select the job, you can just start or stop a particular job directly from here. And in case you want to disable a job, you can also perform it from here. And in the backup and restore, so you will view what are the current backups that are running, and the same like the jobs, you can configure the alert in case if the job is getting failed. So these are all the few parameters that needs to be focused in the database server. And when it comes to the hardware monitoring, so in the Windows server, we are currently supporting the hardware monitoring. So go to click on the monitors tab and go to the Windows monitor type. And in the Windows monitor type, you can see there is a tab called hardware. In the hardware tab, it will list all the hardwares that have been associated with this particular server, and you can monitor the size of the memory and the processor as well. If something goes wrong, if the CPU count is getting low, or if it is not up to the requirement, so you can just configure a threshold for it, so that if it is reduced by your server team, you can just escalate to your higher management and trigger the alert for the same. And along with the hardware in the Windows monitoring, you can monitor the event logs and the scheduled task as well. So you need to just add the respective scheduled task by giving the add scheduled task option here. So once you just click, it will list down all the scheduled tasks that have been running on your particular server, and you need to select and add that particular task for the monitoring. If task is getting failed, automatically you'll be getting an alert. So these are all the few parameters which have been monitored in the Windows server, the hardware and the scheduled task and the event logs. Let's look into the next topic. How AI and ML based reporting will help us to analyze the performance trend. When we just talk about the AI and ML based reports, so there are two main reports you need to focus on. First one is capacity planning, and second one is forecast report. When it comes to capacity planning report, you can generate this capacity planning report for the servers, ESX, virtual machines, and if you have any container based monitoring, Kubernetes or the OpenShift, you can just generate this particular report. With the help of this report, you can just categorize the servers into three parts. So the first category is oversized server, and the second category is undersized server, and the third category is idle servers. So which servers are called oversized? Let's take an example. You have a particular server with high-end configuration in which they are given like 64 GB memory, and there is only one application running on that particular server. And when when multiple users accessing that application, the CPU spike is around 2 to 3%, and it is not uh, spiking more than 3% on the particular server. So those server are called oversized. So in that particular server, if you have 4 GB of memory, that will be more sufficient for that application. So instead of providing the 4 GB memory, your team has allocated 32 GB. So these servers are called oversized. And when it comes to the undersized server, you have a particular server in which you have allocated only 8 GB of memory, and there are 4 applications hosted on that particular server. And whenever a user is accessing the server, the CPU is constantly at 90 to 100 percentage. So this will impact, or this will cause a performance issue on your application and then server as well. So to just check and avoid these scenarios, this capacity planning will categorize the server into oversized and undersized. With the help of this capacity planning report, you can just talk to your server team, or you can just share this report with your management and plan and allocate the resource accordingly to the respective servers in which your production or the any other application is deployed. When it comes to the forecast report, so the forecast report can be generated for disk utilization for servers and data file size for databases. How this forecast report will work? So with the help of this forecast report, you can predict what will be the disk usage of your server in the month of April 2023. Or if you want to identify what will be your disk usage size in November 2023. So you can just predict the disk usage values in the upcoming months. So based on the previous month data, it will predict the average value, and along with the average value, it will just predict and set and show you the future values which you are going to get on your particular disk. And it comes to database for the data file size usage as well, it will predict and show the value for the upcoming month. So with the help of this report, you can just avoid the bottlenecks at the end time. So rather than adding a disk usage and before like when it, before it goes to 98 percentage. So during these scenarios, if you just add the sufficient space right now, so it will not hamper the performance health. So these are all the two major report when it comes to the ML and AI. Now we are going to see automate actions and get the timely alerts. So you have an e-commerce application which in which the application will send a log, and the log will be stored on a particular disk. When a particular disk usage is more than 80 percentage, an alert will be sent to your team, and your team member is taking care of that alert, and he is moving the logs from one drive to another drive to avoid this alert. So instead of just doing it manually, Applications Manager has a functionality that will help you to create an automate action. So you can just create your own script so that that script will move the log files from one drive to another drive during the time of alert. Why this particular automate action needed? So let's take an example. The same your application is sending a huge logs, and during the time of alert, so when the disk usage goes above 80 percentage and you are getting an alert, so during that time you have hired new team member, and he don't know what to do during the time of alert. So rather than going for the manual work, Applications Manager will reduce these manual works with the help of the automate action. The main focus towards this automated action is to resolve the issue automatically and instantly. So filter the noise, prioritize the event, pinpoint the issue, and do for that issue, allocate the automate actions. I will just show these automate actions in the UI so that you will get some better understanding on that, and how the machine learning will help us in the threshold profile. So as you might know, like in threshold profile, Applications Manager currently is supporting for static, adaptive, and anomaly. Along with it, currently we are supporting the machine learning as well. So rather configuring a static threshold for a particular utilization. So you want to monitor the CPU utilization or the memory utilization. So let's example, you have a Kubernetes in which you want to monitor the memory utilization. So rather configuring the static threshold, if you just configure the machine learning threshold, so no value needs to get configured. If there is any sudden spike happening on your memory utilization on your particular Kubernetes pod or in a server, alert will be triggered. So this is how the machine learning will help us in the threshold profile. I will just show these options in the Applications Manager. So the first thing we discussed regarding the ML and AI is our reporting. So just go to the reports tab. Under the reports tab, you can find capacity planning. Click on the capacity planning report. So here, when you as soon as you click on the capacity planning, you can see the option for the server, VMware ESXi, OpenShift, and for the virtual machines, you can create these reports. And you can see the three category as well: undersized servers, oversized, and idle servers. When you just click on this undersized server, it will list all the servers here based on the today's data. Maybe if you want to view for all the servers, you can just click on all, and you can view the servers which are currently undersized. So these servers, these three servers CPU is constantly above 54%. So these particular report will be fetched based on the threshold we are configuring. So you can just create our own threshold profile. So based on it, this particular value, this particular report will get generated and categorized to the undersized or oversized. So this particular red color column will show the particular server which are undersized. So for the CPU utilization, we need to focus on these three servers and allocate the resource accordingly. And if you want to verify like what are the servers are oversized, so I'm just going with the virtual machines. And you just click on oversized. So here there is only one server which is oversized. That is also for the CPU utilization. So in this particular server, the CPU is not use and match, so it is always less than 50% each. So for this particular resource, either you can just reduce the cores, or you can just allocate the cores accordingly for this particular server. So with this report, you can analyze like what are the servers are, what are all the servers which are oversized and undersized. And in forecast report, you can generate for disk utilization of servers and for the data file size of database servers. So when you just click on forecast report for the data file size for the SQL server, it will list all the data file size of the respective databases here. So it will have the average value. So it will show the last month value and the today's value and what will be the my next month value. So these values will be fetched based on the last 15 days. In order to view the accurate data, you can just, we are just given an option here. You can use last 6 month or last 1 year data. So with the help of this, you can easily predict the exact value which will be getting you in the upcoming month. And also currently we are just showing for the March month. In case if you want to view for the other 4 month, you can click on the values here which are given and you can view here. So on the month of June, this will be your database file size value. So with the help of this report, you can just predict the values and you can allocate the resource accordingly to the data file size on the particular database. So these are the two reports which are supported with ML and AI based one. Now we are going to see like what are all the automate actions. So when you just click on the actions drop down here, you can view all the list of actions that have been supported in the applications manager. So action is nothing but whenever the CPU is going critical, so alarm will be generated. To just notify that alarm, this action will be executed. If the CPU goes above 90%, either you want that alert in an email or a SMS, or if you want to create a ticket to a ticketing tool like ServiceNow or ServiceDesk Plus, that is also is feasible. And in few cases, if a particular Windows service is using much CPU and you want to restart the Windows service, so without logging into the server, you can just create an Windows service action here, so that you can just stop the service or restart the service by clicking on the option here and you need to select the respective service which needs to get restarted during the time of alert. So once the service is selected, you need to select the server. So in which server you want to restart the above mentioned services. So once this is done, just go to the configure alarm tab and here you need to select the respective monitor. So right now I'm just configuring for the Windows 2012 server and here I'm just selecting the respective monitor. And in the associate attribute, so whenever the CPU goes above 50 percentage, I'll be just assigning that particular action here. So once this is assigned, what will happen? It will automatically restart that particular service whenever my CPU goes above the given threshold value. So this is how this automation action will work. So not only for the Windows service action, we are also having SQL job action. In case if a job is getting failed and you want to restart that particular job directly, so you can use this SQL job action, and with the help of the container, the virtual machine as well, you can restart the particular virtual machine or start or stop the virtual machines. So we are just given these automate actions to reduce the manual works and to avoid the inconsistency during the time of alert. So these are all some automate actions. Now we are going to discuss about the threshold profiles. So if you just click on new threshold profile, you might know like we can also configure a static threshold profile either in numeric, string or float values based on the respective attribute type. So once the respective type is given here, you need to give the values for the critical and the warning. So once you given the value, you have an option called polls to try. So what this particular polls to try will do here is like, so rather than sending an alert immediately, it will wait for few consecutive polls and then it will trigger an alert. If you just give 2 out of 2, and if your particular memory utilization is go above 90 and it comes down after 1 or 2 minutes. So rather sending an alert for each and every spike, you can just set this polls to try option so that it will wait for 2 consecutive polls. It will just check the value on the first poll and check the value on the second poll as well. In the both the polls, if the value is above 90%, then only the threshold will get violated. So apart from that, it will not get violated. In case if in the first poll it is high and the second poll it is low. So during this phase, the alert will not be or threshold will not be triggered for those attributes. And in the same threshold profile, you can view the adaptive and the anomaly profile. apart from the static threshold, you can just use this adaptive threshold profile as well. This particular adaptive threshold will compare the current value with the previous week or the last month. You can just select the respective month, your respective month and the week. So if you just want to compare the today's value with the week 3 of January, last month value, you can just select that. So it will just compare the two values. If the value is greater than 6%, so only then it will create a critical alert. So if the value is less than when the compared value is less than 6%, it will ignore those alerts. So based on the comparison between the older value, you can trigger the alert as well. So this particular adaptive threshold profile will be checked for every 5 minutes, same like the static threshold profile. This will be also checked for every 5 minutes. When it comes to the anomaly profile, it will check for every 1 hour. So rather than checking every 5 minutes, it will check for every hour, and then only the alert will get generated. And now we can discuss on the machine learning threshold profile. So as you might know, we have three options. In case if you want to configure a threshold for individual monitor level, you can click on monitor and create the threshold profile and associate the action. In case if you want to create a or configure the alarm for a particular group. So if you have three groups, production, development server and testing servers, and you want to configure a different threshold profiles for each group. So during that time, you can just create this monitor group template, and you need to select the respective monitor type here, the monitor group here. So once you selected the monitor group, you need to click on template and then select the respective monitor type, so that this particular threshold profile which you are configuring, it will be applied only to this particular monitor group monitors alone. Okay, and when you just click on monitor type template, so it will apply to all the AD servers. So currently I just selected Active Directory. So when you just configure the threshold from here, this particular threshold profile and action will be associated to all the Active Directory monitors that are currently monitored in my Applications Manager. In case in future, if you're adding few more Active Directories, so this particular threshold will be automatically configured for the newly added monitors as well. So here for the disk utilization, I'm configuring a machine learning here. So you need to click on associate. So once you just clicked on associate, you can see option here, machine learning. So as I mentioned, so no value need to set for this machine learning. Automatically, this machine learning will detect and monitor the current average of this disk utilization. And if there is a sudden spike of the disk utilization on my particular server, during that time only, it will send an alert. So you need to select the threshold and you need to configure the action here. So only thing, you need to select the machine learning and configure the respective action here. So once this is configured and saved, this will be applied to all my Active Directory CPU disk utilization in my Applications Manager. Now we can just check the next topic of the today's session. So the next topic is, what are all the built-in integrations that are available in Applications Manager? So we have few direct integration as well. So we have direct integration with Prometheus, ticketing tool like ServiceNow, and the ServiceDesk Plus is also available. And if you are using Slack in your organization, you can just use this Slack integration as well to just notify the alerts. And in case if you're looking for the advanced reporting, so we have the ManageEngine Analytics Plus integration as well to generate some advanced reporting. So what are all the advantages of this built-in integration? So with this built-in integrations, you have some end-to-end visibility. So if a ticket is created for an event, it will have all the data of the particular server or the attribute in which the threshold is violated. And with the help of these information, you can reduce the bottlenecks and you can take some timely action for these alerts. And you can, the main focus is towards the SLA breach. So with the help of this integration, you can avoid the SLA breach. And in case if you're looking for some efficient reporting, we have the Analytics Plus as well. Let me just let's discuss on the ServiceDesk Plus integration. So with the help of the ServiceDesk Plus, you can create or log a ticket directly during the time of alert, and it will give some faster troubleshooting and will automatically assign a technician. It also like during the in the particular ticket which you are creating on the ServiceDesk Plus, in that we can just set the priority level as well. In case your server is down, for the server down alerts, you want to create a P1 ticket for the in ServiceDesk Plus. So you can just give those option for while logging the ticket as well. Okay, so apart from this ticketing, we are also having we are also just syncing the CAs with the ServiceDesk Plus, so that you can just find the relationship and create the asset and the relationship map view on the ServiceDesk Plus. Prometheus integration. So this particular Prometheus integration has released in the recent version of Applications Manager. With the help of this Prometheus integration, you can export the Tomcat monitor. So Prometheus is a third-party monitoring tool. So in which if you have added the Tomcat servers, you can just import all those Tomcat servers into the Applications Manager when you integrate this Prometheus. So rather adding the Tomcat one by one, you can just export and import into the Applications Manager with the help of this Prometheus integration. So these integrations which we are discussed, it will be available on Applications Manager UI and Settings tab under Add-on Settings. When you just click on Add-on Settings, you can view all the direct integrations that are available here. So and also we are also working on Microsoft Teams integration, which will be released in upcoming months. So along with this integration, Microsoft Teams also will be available here. So it will automatically pop up in case if any alert is triggered on the Applications Manager, it will show in the pop-up on your Teams chat. So those feature is under the roadmap and it will be releasing in the upcoming months. So if you want to integrate the ServiceDesk Plus, you need to click on Add option here. So once you just clicked on Add option, you need to give the server name, port, and the REST API. So we are using the REST API key for the authentication. So once you just given these details, you need to just enable this mail notification for connectivity failure. So if there is any connection issue from the Applications Manager machine towards that particular ServiceDesk Plus machine, if there is any connection failure, an alert will be sent to the respective email ID, which is configured here, so that you can just check and fix that issue. Because since we are just making an integration, it should not hamper the ticketing one. So for that, we are just given this option for the notification. So once that is enabled, in the advanced settings, you can view the set of rules here. If a particular ticket is closed by the technician, and if again the same issue occurs, so either you want to reopen a ticket or update the notes. So you can just configure the or set the rules here. So based on that only the ticket will get created. So once you just selected these settings, here you can view the option enable CA sync. So once you just clicked on the enable CA sync, from here all the information will get synced to the ServiceDesk Plus. So once this CA sync is enabled, you can click on test connection and save. So once you just clicked on test connection and save, under the actions, click on create new ticket action. So once this particular ticket action is loaded, you need to just select the template and the category. So these information you need to just give either you want to set a priority level for the availability or the health, or so based on that you can just set the priority level, and in the title you can just give the like the respective the content which you want, and in the description you can use this alarm variables to add some additional information along in the ticket. So if you want to view the host IP in the ticket description, or if you want to view the exact RCA the complete RCA message, and also you want to view the attribute value, the current attribute value. So you can just select the alarm variables so that along with this particular ticket, you will be getting some additional information about the respective alert. So this is how the direct integration work for the ServiceDesk Plus, and the same applicable for the ServiceNow as well. Okay. And in case if you are having any third-party ticketing tool, and if you are or if you are having any other third-party ticketing system, so for that, if you want to integrate, so we have an option here under the actions, webhook up REST API action. When you just click on this webhook or REST API action, it will ask for the REST API and the URL. So once you just given the complete URL of the particular third-party tool which you're planning to integrate, so along with it, you need to just give the parameters and you need to create the action. So same like the ServiceDesk Plus. So whenever there is an issue, this particular action will get executed and the ticket will be created in the third-party ticketing tool. So this is how this direct integration and the REST API or the webhook will work in the Applications Manager. Let's have a quick recap of the topics which we discussed on the today's session. On the today's session, we have just discussed on 4 different topics. The first one is how the auto discovery and dependency map will work in Applications Manager, and what are all the ways you can onboard the monitors into the Applications Manager. And in the second topic, we have seen what are all the key performance metrics that we need to focus on application server and the databases. And in the third topic, we have discussed how AI and ML based reporting will help us to analyze the performance. And in the last topic, we have discussed on the what are all the built-in integrations that are available in Applications Manager, direct integration and the REST API integration as well. So thank you everyone.